Welcome, spiritual travelers, to another Mystic Owl Pick a Card reading. Today, the theme is Pluto Retrograde and how it's likely to affect you, what things will be surfacing from the deep subconscious for you to deal with and to overcome and address so that you can move on in life. I'm going to try and move on a little bit more into astrological themes and spirituality, just because that's where my interest lies. And yeah, it's kind of what I want to do in the future. So I've got some new astrology cards here dealing with the 12 houses. I've drawn them out randomly. And as you can see, they're here in these piles. And that'll give us an idea of which aspect of your life is likely to be brought up during this retrograde period for things for you to work on. We have 4 piles today. We have pile number 1 with the little small feather. I'm losing my voice already. I've only just started. We have pile 2 with the crow feather. We have pile 3 with this thing. I'm not sure what kind of bird that is, but I'm really interested. If anyone knows, I'd love to hear from you. I've actually found like 3 of these feathers all in about a period of about 3 or 4 days, and I'd never seen them before. So I found that as a beautiful synchronicity from the universe, although I'm not sure what bird it is, but anyway. And then we have pile 4 with this white feather, which I think might be from like a, I think we call them bin chickens here in Australia, but what's the real name for them? Anyway, when I remember, I'll put the name up on the post. So use your intuition as per usual. Have a look over the cards, pick a pile. The timestamps will be in the description box and in the comments section. Remember, it's a general reading, so it may not resonate with all of you, but please take what does and leave the rest behind. And let's move on to pile number 1. Hello, pile 1, with this little adorable feather. I have no idea what it's from, but anyway. Let's find out how this Pluto retrograde period is likely to affect you and what emotions and issues you may have to deal with to overcome, to progress in your life. By looking at your cards, the first card is the house card, so we'll find out what aspect of your life is likely to be impacted. Ooh, wow, okay, well, that's awesome. We have the 8th house, which says here, this transformational area of your life is about shared resources and intense emotions. Interesting, because Pluto actually rules the 8th house of death and transformation, rebirth, sex, taxes, actually, also. I'm actually drawn here to these 2 rings overlapping. During the past week, I've seen this symbol a lot. So I've started watching, I've almost finished actually, season 1 of the TV series Picard. And in that TV show, the main character is actually wearing a necklace with this symbol. I think it might have something to do with twin flames. It also has the Vesica Pisces in there too, which is interesting. Yeah, which is about, I guess, fertility and rebirth. And also with the deck that I'm going to be using to draw some messages about in terms of healing and what needs to be healed, you can see here on the cover that same symbol is actually represented on this pole behind this woman here. I don't know if that means anything. It could be a nice synchronicity, but anyway, I think that this group is probably really tapping into some higher wisdom. That's how I perceive that with those synchronicities. And because Pluto rules the 8th house, I do sense that you are going through a really deep transformation through this period. And I do sense also that there's probably going to be some incredibly intense emotions that will come to surface that you may need to confront and deal with. So it's probably an indication that you need to be well grounded during this period, pile 1. And to really look after yourself and to do some things that will bring you joy so that it's not all doom and gloom, I sense. Not that I think it will be, I just think that you're going to have to deal with some some deeper emotions that potentially you've sort of shoved down to the dark subconscious because they've just been too hard to sort of deal with in the past. But that's what Pluto retrograde is for. So let's get some further insight as to what those issues may be from your tarot cards. Your first card. Okay, nice, lovely. That's always good to see. It's the card of strength. Oh wow! Wow! Look at that. So you've got the infinity sign there too, which actually I think is quite similar to. I'm seeing a really deep connection here with spirit during this period for you, Pile 1. The synchronicities, I mean, I know that they were my synchronicities, but the fact that I felt the urge to sort of explain that to you, I do sense that you are really tapping into some deeper wisdom. You'll be quite connected, and which is a good thing, because I think that there's going to be some things that you'll really have to, some challenges and deeper emotions that you'll have to overcome. So I sense that you're being guided through this by your spirit guides and by the universe to really tap into these things. And with the card of strength here, it's an indication that you do have the strength to overcome these challenges coming through. So just keep that in mind, that you're going through this for a reason, and that you have the ability to overcome this challenge. You have the Page of Needles here. Restlessness, curiosity, and new ideas. Okay. You actually got 4 cards, so the other piles, when I was shuffling, I only intended to have 3, but 2 of them came out at the same time, and I just felt that they were both supposed to be included. You're the card of 9 of Matches in reverse. Okay. Exhaustion, struggle, and paranoia. Interesting. And your final card. Nice. Okay, well, that's positive, isn't it? The 6 of Matches, upright this time. Acclaim, success, and victory. That's good to know. So I'm going to focus on that first. I do see that with the Strength card and the card of 6 of Matches in the upright position, that you will be successful. You will get through this period. You have the inner strength and the resolve to overcome these emotions that will be brought to light in your life soon. It won't be easy, though. It will be quite challenging. I do sense that. What I am also noticing here, you've got the 9 of Matches in reverse and exhaustion. You also have here that the Page of Needles in the upright position, and restlessness. So they're 2 very polar opposites of the same spectrum, I think. I do sense that you'll be going through periods of highs and lows during Pluto retrograde. Pile 1, and that's really not surprising, as Pluto rules the 8th house of deep transition and transformation. So, okay. I think I'm picking up on what the deeper message is here. Pile 1, I do sense that you are highly connected. Potentially you feel that you have a calling or a higher purpose in life. And I sense that during this mass awakening, and I feel that during this retrograde season, so there's multiple planets going retrograde at the same time. We've got Venus, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, that are all going retrograde. So it's a really emotionally impactful time where the planet and humanity is sort of delving into the deeper subconscious, into the deeper collective subconscious, and bringing to light those aspects of humanity that need to be healed. And I sense that you have a really deeper, important role during this retrograde period of actually transmuting a lot of that darkness into light, of facing some of these deeper emotions and healing some, I guess, ancestral patterns, so that humanity can move towards, I guess, the new age, the age of Aquarius, in a more connected and unified way. also with unification there. So these two rings indicate to me unification. I suppose when you get married and you pledge to always be unified and to have that other person's back, to be there for your partner. Your path and what you'll be going through this period is about overcoming those shadowy aspects that humanity is really shoved down into the deeper subconscious, and transmuting that energy with the butterfly transmutation, so that we can all move forward into the new age, I sense. So this is going to be a real period for you of deep ups and downs, facing emotions and patterns that maybe you personally haven't wanted to face, but also I think that humanity have just not dealt with. But also some extreme highs too, of releasing energy, and feeling elated for overcoming certain challenges. So yeah, it's something that you'll need. I am sensing that you'll need to really remain grounded and to really look after yourself during this period, pile one. Anna, let's get a message from the Mystical Healing deck about what else you may have to deal with, and or how you can sort of overcome this challenge. I'm still like just in awe of the infinity signs, and I guess those two rings being overlapped. Yeah, if you do have Pluto in your 8th house, then I do sense that you have some strong mystical powers, or gifts anyway, and that your purpose is to really lead humanity into the new age. There's your card. I'm just going to pick that up from the ground. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm not surprised, because I sense that this group is highly connected in a very sort of wow, I've got amazing psychic shivers right now, or ASMR. It reminds me of the Hierophant, this picture, actually. And I love the fact that you've got the dove there bringing peace and tranquility at the end of this cycle, pile one. But it also sort of is reflected by the light up there, which is pretty amazing. So you can see the dove there. Looks like it's got a halo around its head, just kind of reflected or by the light that I have here shining. So yeah, this reminds me of the Hierophant, which is the Hierophant is, I guess, the archetype of being highly connected to spirit and offering wisdom and advice to, I guess, his disciples, or his I really want to say underlings, because I can't think of a better word for it. So I'm going to say underlings at this point in time. But wow, did you read that? Contemplate death and beyond. So yeah, you're going to be really dealing with some deeper occult-like themes during this retrograde period. Interesting, though, that the 8th house and Pluto and transformation really deals with death and those sort of darker subconscious concepts, so that most of us are just afraid to tap into. And I think the message here is for you to just to bring that to light, so that humanity can face that fear and let it go, because we're all spiritual beings in a temporary physical journey here on Earth, right? And you're I really want to say, like Starseed or Lightworker, that you have a mission here to transmute that darker energy that the humanity just doesn't want to face. But the dove here also is indicating that you'll be bringing it to light and transmuting it, and that you are protected too during this time. I sense power one. I'm going to read the message associated with that from the guidebook, just to get a real indication of what it's indicating. Number 6. It always amazes me when things like that come out in tarot readings, when you have synchronicities that are so strong. I just think it's beautiful. Contemplate death and beyond. To live fully, you need to trust death, or to understand death. Every moment of every day, there are aspects of you that are dying and transforming. This card offers an opportunity to consciously reflect on that process of death. Have you ever taken the time to truly contemplate what happens when you die? What aspects of your soul continue with you, and what aspects stay behind and dissolve? Until you ask powerful questions about life and death, it is almost impossible to know what you need to work on, and thus how to live consciously. Through understanding death, we learn the secrets of life. It says here, you're about to go through a major cleansing process where many of your materialistic ambitions will start to fall away, while your spiritual aspirations will become aroused. Through this process, your fears of death have the possibility to transform into awe of the higher worlds. You are also being asked to start looking at any of your destructive habits and behaviors and make positive changes to your health and inner well-being. There you go. Okay. So for you, Pile 1, I think this is really going to bring up some concepts about reality and your life, what you want from your life, about where you want to go and where you're being guided to, about potentially your soul purpose here on Earth, and just what you want to achieve and the mark that you want to make on humanity. And I think that you will find those answers through confronting your fear of death, or at least facing humanity and how fleeting it is. Yeah, I think you need to take some time and do some inner work in terms of what life is all about and what you want to achieve in this brief period here on Earth. But with the picture that reminds me of the Hierophant, you are really highly connected, and that you are protected. You've got the dove that indicates like protection and love, that you're being guided by your spirit guides. And just with all of the synchronicities and signs here that I was touching on earlier, I really see a strong connection here to source, and to your guides. So just know that you will get through this period, and it won't be easy, but you're doing humanity a favor, which I think is really a gift in a sense. On that Pile 1, I'm just going to get some further messages from the standard Rider-Waite Tarot deck about how you can overcome these challenges and what you need to do during this period. There you go. Oop. The cards are just flying out for you, Pile 1. This is awesome. Oop, I'm going to take both of those. Just dropping them everywhere. Okay, wow, alright. So the first card that came out was the Six of Swords in reverse. Potentially there's an urge to sort of resist this transition, which is completely understandable and natural, I sense, because it's hard. It's going to be hard work for you. But I do think, and I do sense that it's also going to cause you a little bit of anxiety and stress. With the swords here, you've also got the Five of Swords in reverse. This will cause a little bit of internal conflict, and anxiety. You've also, along with the card of restlessness. I'm really struggling to communicate because of the synchronicities. I'm getting a little bit excited here. You're going to really have to delve deep into your own psyche, I sense, Pile 1. And it won't be easy, that it will be hard to sort of continue on and to push through. There will be a lot of internal battles and issues that will come to light that you need to resolve. But you've got here the Temperance card, just reminding you to be gentle with yourself and to take some time to do the things that will bring you joy also. I'm thinking like self-care is important for you, to not only try and constantly work through this, because I sense that there will be a lot of anxiety and issues so you'll have to go through, but you'll need to just remain grounded and to care for yourself. Drink a lot of water, I'm sensing also and picking up here. And the last card you have is the Two of Pentacles in reverse, which for me is very similar to temperance and that need for balance. Don't allow yourself to go fully into just trying to overcome these issues, to rush through them. Be that Six of Swords in the upright position where you move slowly towards peace and harmony. Remember to look after yourself, eat healthy, get enough sleep, drink a lot of water, care for yourself, like maybe some hot baths, salt baths, watch a good movie to relax, go out for walks, spend time in nature too, because you're going to need that balance to really allow yourself to overcome these challenges that you'll have to face during this period, pile one. But just remember that you are highly protected, and that you have the strength within you. You are the archetype of the Hierophant here, connected to spirit, and that you can really draw upon that knowledge and wisdom. If you're struggling to really move forward, just ask your spirit guides what you need to do, and they will bring you light and guide you on your journey. I want to say thank you to you, Pile One, because I sense that you're doing something really amazing for humanity at this period, transmitting some darkness into light and having to really go through that trialing and troublesome times yourself. So yeah, keep on keeping on. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's move on to Pile 2. Welcome, Pile 2, with the crow's feather. I love crows. I used to hate them in my 20s, but now I see them all the time, and I think they communicate with me, so they're one of my favorite birds now. Plus, they're very intelligent. So, let's find out how this Pluto retrograde will affect you, what issues you may have to deal with, or what's going on with you. And what aspect of your life is going to be affected. So we have the house card here. Let's find out first. We have the 12th house. Awesome. This is the area of your life that is overwhelming. You yield to a greater power or cause or power. Oh, okay. Someone's getting the calling. Pile 2. This reminds me a lot of like the Judgment card in tarot. Basically being called by your spirit guides to follow a certain path in life. I sense that during this period you're finding out who you truly are and where your life is supposed to go, what your life purpose may be. Let's find out from your tarot cards. The first card you hear is the 10 of Buttons. Lovely. Or the 10 of Pentacles in the Standard Tarot. Share the wealth. It says here legacy. Aha, there you go. Legacy, nice. And inheritance, okay. Interesting. Maybe you're coming into money somehow, but because this is about delving into your deep subconscious, I sense that the inheritance that you'll be receiving is like ancestral knowledge that's deep in your lineage that's going to come to surface. You're going to find out who you are and where you've come from, and I am sensing why you're here. Leaving home, transition, uncertainty. Okay, well, the transition's not surprising. And finally, you have the card of, oh, lovely, Page of Matches. Isn't that beautiful? It says here, free spirit, discovery, and exploration. Okay, yeah. Look, I think for you, Pile 2, this period will be a lot of self-reflection, introspection. But I think it's really about, like, bringing to light your soul purpose, who you truly are, and what potentially your mission in life is. I do sense that you have a higher calling, and that you're supposed to help humanity somehow, like Pile 1 in that aspect. But Pile 1 are actually sort of transmuting darkness during this period. I sense that this is about you actually finding out what your life purpose is. and actually leading you towards that mission in life, which is a really beautiful thing, actually. It does say here it could be a little bit overwhelming, and I do sense that it would be, because you're going from one aspect in life or one direction in life, and then really sort of having to face that maybe that isn't working out for you or within your best interest, into actually moving onto a whole new path, and discovering who you are. And so that really takes a lot of like inner work, in terms of, I guess, facing the fact that maybe those things that you thought were who you were, those attachments that those things that you've attached to in terms of your career and your goals in life, maybe just really aren't who you are deep down and why you're here. But it's going to bring a lot of joy and happiness, I think, because through deep introspection, you'll be able to like really tap into some deeper inner knowledge and wisdom. I see with the Ten of Pentacles or Ten of Buttons here, and be able to use that for your advantage. And with the card of Page of Matches, Free Spirit, Discovery and Exploration, it also says here exploration and leaving home, that this is going to really ignite some passion within you to start a new journey in life, to start a new direction. And I think you're going to come out of this with a lot of vigor and passion, and you're just going to want to sort of run away with it and get going. And it's your sole purpose, whatever it is, will be to sort of contribute to humanity in the best possible way. It does say here also in the Ten of Pentacles, share the wealth. So I sense that you're going to be tapping into some inner knowledge that you'll be able to then use for your own benefit, but also to share with the people around you and the world in general. Yeah, this is an amazing reading so far. We've only just started. But anyway, I think this Pluto retrograde, it won't be easy, because I don't think retrogrades really are ever easy, but they do end up allowing you to face aspects of yourself that maybe you were afraid of dealing with, and then overcoming them. It gives you the strength to really face them and to overcome them. But yeah, you've also got the compass here, so you're going to find your true purpose, and have some clearer knowledge in which way to navigate your life, which I think is really amazing. On that pile too, let's get some further messages and insight from the Mystical Healing Oracle cards, to see what else it may come up, or just to give some further healing messages on how to overcome these challenges. The Ten of Pentacles is also indicating that this is going to bring out a lot of like, joy and inspiration, I sense. That this transition period is really just within your best interest, and it's kind of like seeing the light, right? Like, I've got ABBA in my head now. Not ABBA, sorry. What other Swedish band? Ace of Base, and I saw the sign in my head. Okay, there it is. Wow, it's flipped. Ooh, wow, look at that. It's beautiful. What a transmutation totem. Oh, is it? Transmutation totem. I'm not sure what that means. Purification. Okay. And the third eye there with the phoenix. There's a lot of fire energy in this reading. So it's really tapping into your true spirit, I sense. Free spirit, your true spirit, which is a free spirit, and finding your calling and charging ahead on that direction. It looks like I'm seeing the sign of Taurus here too. Potentially you're a Taurus also. You may have Taurus in your chart. The 12th house is ruled by Pisces also. So yeah, look, you may have Pisces in your chart too. I do sense that you're really finding a deeper and higher connection with spirit, and really learning to trust in that connection, and giving yourself over to that connection, and that having faith in your direction in life. You're finding your calling here, I sense, Paul, too. And it's going to bring a lot of joy and happiness. With all the fire in this chart, I do see that you will feel incredibly inspired, and just have a real sort of urgency to go along this journey and to take charge of your life. It does say here, number 8, develop stronger concentration. I am also just picking up on 8 being like the number of luck. So this period is really going to bring in a lot of joy and happiness for you eventually, if you do the inner work, of course. Develop stronger concentration. So there is a real need for you to sort of tap into that connection with spirit, to meditate a lot, I'm sensing, during this period, pile 2. To yield to a higher power. I think there's a really strong calling for you to strengthen that connection with spirit, and the best way to do that is to really meditate a lot and to do some self-reflection and introspection. I'm just going to get a different message from the guidebook about that card, number 8, and see what it says there. Number 8, develop stronger connection as concentration. Become more detailed and effective in all you do. Acute concentration enables you to think in a cohesive, harmonious way. By learning to deepen your concentration, you'll be able to delve into a more profound understanding of life. There you are, okay. Make better decisions and effectively work with life-changing healing and spiritual processes. Excellent. As long as your attention is dispersed on the outside world, you are not refining your inner self. Correct concentration removes nervousness and fear and helps you to focus your attention on what enriches and enlivens you. Okay, wow. Yeah, so pile 2. For you, it's about like bringing stability and equality to both your inner and outer worlds. And by doing that, I think the best way to do that is to turn inside during this period of retrograde, and allow this period to sort of transmute you, to delve into a higher consciousness, really, by learning to concentrate on your connection with spirit. And that will really sort of bring to surface your true essence and what you truly enjoy, like what you value the most in life. And to sort of put those as your priority in life and to really go after those things. And just know that you are being called to do this. You're being called to sort of turn in and to meditate and to really strengthen that connection with spirit and your own concentration on what is important. You've got here the third eye in this image, and it does say here free spirit too. So I do sense that, and also with the 12th house being ruled by Pisces, which is the sign of spirituality, essentially. There's a real call for you to strengthen this connection with spirit, because it's going to guide you on your journey and bring in just amazing gifts and knowledge that you hadn't had in your life before. Just trust in this connection and this calling at this time. On that pile 2, I'm just going to get some further messages from you from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck about what else you may need to do during this period. It also says purification there, I see. Or at least I'm reading purification. I'm not really sure what it says. Puricado. Maybe it's Latin or something. But I see purification. So I think it's going to sort of purify your values and give you clarity on what is most important to you in life. Okay, wow. Your first card is phenomenal. Yep. Oop, I'm going to take that one too. Ooh, okay. So the first card that jumped out for you is the 9 of Cups, which is the card of wish fulfillment. Overcoming a lot of challenges and working really hard on your goals and achieving the things that you want in life. But yeah, it's emotional satisfaction and wish fulfillment, which indicates that this period of introspection and concentration and connection to spirit is really going to allow you to focus on your priorities, give you sort of more resolve on achieving your goals in life and working out what those priorities are. You've also got here the 8 of Cups too. So you've got the 8 and 9 of Cups. There's a progression there. indicating that there will be a need to walk away and change direction. What you've been trying in the past hasn't been working out for you. And so you'll need to walk away from your old life, essentially, restart, like start again with a higher calling and a higher knowledge of your real direction and purpose in life, and start sort of achieving these cups here and getting some just some joy and inspiration in life again. And the final card here is the Lovers, which I see as being the card of, in this reading, of having to make an important decision. But I guess the Lovers also being about intimate relationships and love, basically. I think you're going to have to make the decision to find your calling, to walk away from old patterns and behaviors that weren't serving you, as indicated by the Eight of Cups. And just trust that this period is going to allow you to see clearly, to know what your priorities are and where you're going in life. And it's going to bring in a lot of joy. So you've got a lot of water in this reading too. You've got a lot of fire with the develop stronger concentration. You've got the Page of Matches here, and the Free Spirit. Sorry, the Page of Matches and the Four of Matches. So there's a lot of fire indicating inspiration, passion, and desire. And with a lot of water here, with the 12th house, the Eight of Cups and the Nine of Cups, bringing emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. Yeah, if you do the work, then you're going to have a lot of clarity, and it's going to bring in so much joy in your life after this process is complete, pile 2. Good on you. This is amazing. What a beautiful reading. Just trust in your instincts and your intuition too, I'm getting from the third eye here. On that, that's all I have for you, pile 2. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. And let's move on to pile 3. Welcome, pile 3, with this beautiful feather. I think I rambled enough about it in the introduction about the synchronicities associated with it. So let's move on, shall we? And find out how Pluto retrograde is likely to affect you during this retrograde season. Let's find out what area of your life it's likely to affect first with the house card. Oh, wow, you have the 9th house. It says here broadening your horizons, either spiritually, academically, or on a long journey. Just of note so far, all three of the house cards have been in the latter part of the zodiac circle, whatever you call it, which is an indication that, like, I guess we're all like delving into really deeper aspects of the collective unconscious, I sense. That this just isn't like a personal transformation. It's really like a global or a collective transformation, I sense, like moving through to the age of Aquarius and, the mass awakening. And with this card coming out here, broadening your horizons either spiritually, academically, or on a long journey, I am sensing that there is potentially a calling for a deeper connection with spirit. So during this time, pile 3, you're going to tap into a deeper connection and understanding of probably who you are, your journey in life, and having a bit more faith in that connection, I sense. But on that, let's find out what else you have here with the tarot cards for some further information about this period. You have the 5 of Matches. It says here conflict, rivalry, and competition. Okay. All right, the 9 of Needles here in reverse. Letting go, hope, and coping. That's good to know. And you have the card of Justice in reverse. It says here injustice. And it says dishonesty. Okay. what I am sensing for you is that this period will allow you to really tap into some deeper understandings of yourself, and in terms of how you react to certain situations. I am sensing that with the card of justice in reverse and injustice, and also the card of Five of Matches here, which is the Five of Wands in the Standard Tarot, that you have an ability or a tendency sometimes to be a little bit hard on yourself, a bit harsh towards yourself and the way you think, but B, to also sort of react quite strongly in certain situations. Potentially you are a little bit, I want to say, hot-headed, or your reactions can be quite strong and forceful sometimes. And I think this period is really calling for you to get to a deeper understanding of why you may do that. And it's calling for you to actually let go of that pattern, to move on and to break free of those conditionings that have caused you to be quite strong in your emotional reactions to things, and how you treat yourself and potentially sometimes can treat others in certain situations. And I'm not saying this in any form of judgment at all, because I also have a tendency to be overreactive in certain situations, and it's taken me a lot of inner work and a lot of time to overcome my tendency to get really feisty and argumentative sometimes, and to be quite negative on myself when I do that also. So I think this is really about learning to overcome that tendency to be really reactive and impulsive, I sense. On that also, I'm just sensing the ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius, which is a really reactive group, a really reactive zodiac sign, in terms of just wanting to be impulsive and do something right now because you've thought of it. You may also have a tendency to give into impulse sometimes. And I do sense with the Justice card here, which is also ruled by Libra, that it causes you a little bit of anxiety, or after you tend to give into your impulses sometimes, pile 3, you end up feeling quite shit about yourself. And you get into a bit of a spiral of giving into your impulse and then feeling bad about it. So the way to come out of that sometimes is to make yourself feel better by giving into your impulse again. I see it being a really cyclic pattern that you may get into, and I know firsthand what that's like. So this period is really calling for you to tap into why you the reasons behind why you tend to go down this path constantly. And I do see with the card here, it says here, letting go, and hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that once you get through this period of deep introspection and understanding, that you're going to feel a lot more free. That weight is going to be lifted from your shoulders, and that you're not going to be so hard on yourself and allow yourself to ruminate on those negative thoughts anymore. So yeah, if you do the work, there's going to be some rewards at the end for you here, pile 3. On that, let's get some further messages about what you're going to be dealing with during this retrograde period from the Mystical Healing Oracle deck. I am sensing also, the previous piles, that there's a really good opportunity here for you to tap into a deeper connection with spirit, and to allow that guidance to get you through. And that's because you've got the ninth house here, which is the house of spirituality. But you've got Buddha sitting there too, and some other deities. Also with the orbs and the light shining around, that it's really indicating that there is an opportunity to really strengthen your connection with spirit. I do see a very intellectual group here too. With the Justice card and the Nine of Needles in reverse, that you are quite intellectual. I think the card that wanted to come out is actually that one. So potentially you need to reason. You have a strong reasoning brain, a very analytical person. And I guess for you to really sort of transmute something, you need to understand it at a deeper level. You need to sort of comprehend it in your own mind first, in order for it to actually take understanding and to be assimilated into your life. So yeah, I think what you need to do is sort of delve deep into your psyche, and to really, like, I guess, understand at a very cognitive level why you have certain conditionings and patterns in your life. You have here the card of recognized divine timing. Okay, wow, that's a beautiful omen for the future, I think. So it looks to me almost like an angel taking flight and just having a lot of faith in her journey, moving from like one platform to the other, and just knowing that she is being lifted and guided along by spirit. So she's also blindfolded. She's giving her hope over to a higher power, basically, in order to know what to do next, basically. And she's just having a lot of confidence and faith that spirit will put her back down on 2 feet, overcoming that period of unknown, really. Recognize divine timing. I sense now that your spirit guides and source is really calling for you to understand at a deeper level, Pile 3, that now is your time to overcome this cycle, and to free yourself from these change that you've sort of tethered yourself to, and to allow your life to be a lot more free and fun and enjoyable once you move through this darkness. I'm actually just going to read the message from the guidebook about it to get some further insight about that message. Number 24, recognize divine timing. What you truly desire is on its way. Excellent. That's a beautiful opening. To fully receive what you are asking for, you need to deepen your efforts on your inner preparation. Be aware that it will arrive at the exact right time when you are truly ready. If you are asking for a loving relationship or friendship, become aware of what kind of person you would love to connect with. What qualities do they need to have? Start to work on those qualities yourself. Be open and receptive to this meeting. If you would like to develop your intuitive abilities further, then be willing to take the time to do the appropriate exercises to finesse your energy in order to create new powers of perception. If you want to start a family, work on greater intimacy, love, communication, or healthy inner environment. Okay. So you are being called to really work on your inner life, and to create balance on your external reality and your inner world. So you've got the Justice card here of Justice in reverse. And the Justice card in the upright position is about, I guess, having clarity and understanding of how your inner world and your outer world connect. So that once you are coming from a place of just being truly happy with who you are, and being okay with being in the present and knowing who you are and what you want in life, then your outer world slowly starts to reflect that with, I guess, your wishes being granted and things manifesting in your life that you couldn't have truly imagined when you were still sort of trapped in that sort of darkness by ruminating on your thoughts and being a little bit negative towards yourself and potentially a bit harsh towards yourself and others. So when you tap into the real reasons why you haven't been able to manifest the relationship that you want or that connection with spirit that you're after, I sense that you'll be able to bring that to light and to transmute it and move forward, to let go, and to be able to start taking your life in the direction that you want, to move beyond this sort of cycle of needing instant gratification to feel better about some certain habits and patterns. Yeah, it's a beautiful reading. I don't think it's going to be an easy path or journey for you during this retrograde period, Pile 3. But you are being guided to do so, and just have faith in that guidance, because it will release you from those inner restrictions that are holding you back, I think. On that, let's get some further messages from the standard Rider-Waite tarot deck about what you're going through and how you can get through this period. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Sometimes it can feel quite daunting, I think. You've got with the woman there in the recognized divine timing card, she's blindfolded. She doesn't really quite know where she's going. But it's really about divine faith and having faith in your guides. Okay. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay, no, sorry. That was in the previous reading. So the previous reading had the Five of Swords also. I was thinking that you almost had the same card, but you've got the Five of Matches here. You do have two fives, though, which is all about making a change in your life. And I do sense that by doing the inner work during this retrograde period, that you will make that change, that you will come out having a lot more resolve in your own ability to handle situations better and just knowing who you are at a deeper core level. You've got here also the Six of Wands. So just know that you will be successful in overcoming this challenge. You don't really have to worry too much about it. Just do the work and you will get through it. There is a progression here in numbers here. So you've got the Five of Matches, which is about sort of conflict. I think that's an internal conflict, really. And then the Six of Matches, indicating that when you undertake this work and consciously try not to be so hard on yourself, that you will be successful and be able to take control of your own life. And the last card you have here is the Seven of Cups in reverse. I really sense that that's just about, it's a similar message to the woman here in the recognized divine timing. With the blindfold, this is not going to be an easy period, and you're probably going to have periods where you're just going to freak out a little bit, maybe feel a little bit anxious or uncertain, because you're kind of in the darkness in the sense of where it's leading you. So there will be a period of like confusion or uncertainty, but just continue and have faith in your journey that you are being guided. You've got the deity here, and the ninth house being about spirituality and taking a new journey in life. And the card here of the Nine of Swords in reverse, letting go, hope, and coping, that you'll be able to like find a way through this and come out feeling so much more free, not having so much burdens on your mind and not feeling so negative towards yourself. I think learning to love yourself again. Yeah, what a beautiful reading, pile 3. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. And let's move on to pile 4. Welcome, pile 4, with the bin chicken feather, which I've just remembered is called an ibis. I can't believe I couldn't remember that when I needed it before. We call them bin chickens because they tend to pick up all the scraps of tables and out of the bins around like cafeterias and stuff like that. But yeah, they're the kind of birds that are quite resourceful and kind of like a vulture in that sense, except they don't eat the remains of other animals. They sort of eat the remains of everything else. So I don't see that as a bad thing. I think I see all birds and animals as beautiful creatures, so they have their place in life. Anyway, moving on, that's not very important. Let's find out how Pluto retrograde this season is likely to affect you and what aspect of life is likely to be impacted by looking at your cards. We'll start with your house card. And you have, the 11th house. Okay, that's pretty amazing. So each of the groups has had one of the latest 6 houses between like 7 and 12, which really indicates to me that we're all going through a massive period of deep transition, I think, where we're all delving into, like, I guess, the deeper part of our subconscious and the collective consciousness, and really starting to bring a lot of those patterns that need to be healed to the surface so that humanity can continue to awaken into the age of Aquarius. It says here, where the cosmos grants you wishes. That's awesome. Luck, friends, and social occasions. Okay. Wow, that's beautiful. Pile 4. It sounds like you've got some amazing things to look forward to post Pluto retrograde. So on that, let's get some further information from your tarot cards. I do sense, though, if you have Pluto in your 11th house, that this is going to be, I'm not going to say a very trying time for you, but I do think it's going to bring some things to light that you need to deal with that maybe you've just been putting aside. I suspect that it will affect you more deeply than the rest of this pile. So it might be worth noting whether Pluto is in your 11th house, because this, I think, will have a really deep impact on you quite emotionally. But your tarot cards. Your first card is the World in reverse. It says here disappointment, incompletion, and emptiness. Your next card. Okay, you have the Three of Needles, heartbreak, suffering, and sorrow. Interesting. And your final card, oh wow, you have the Eight of Cups, abandonment, escapism, and withdrawal. Wow, I'm getting shivers from those cards, actually. Pile 4, whoops. I guess to start with, they're all really dealing with some sort of deep, darker emotions. And in some ways that's not surprising, because Pluto rules Scorpio, which is the zodiac sign associated with the deep subconscious and the occult and mystery and dark emotions. So I do sense that it's going to affect you in a really sort of heavy way, actually. I sense that it's probably about coming to terms with some previous issues in your life, or actually starting to face why you've had to go through certain challenges. Especially here, I think, with the three of Needles being about heartbreak and suffering. I sense that maybe in your past you've had a lot of heartache, and I really think it's about dealing with abandonment issues, actually, Pile 4. That you've probably had a continual cycle of people leaving you in your life, needing to walk away from certain things, feeling potentially incomplete, or dealing with issues of unworthiness, I think. And I'm not at all saying that you are unworthy. I think potentially there's a deeper underlying feeling of dissatisfaction in your life, and it's about really bringing that to the surface and understanding why you feel that way. And I think maybe you've had to deal with, in your outer world, a lot of disappointment and people leaving you or abandoning you, because your outer world really reflects your inner world. When you're feeling some sort of really deep-seated dissatisfaction or uncertainty about who you are or where you're going in life, that is reflected in your outer world, with people mirroring, I guess. Oops, I just knocked the camera, sorry. People mirroring you, the relationships that you have tend to mirror your inner world, so that you can actually be faced with those issues and learn to overcome them. But I think this retrograde period is going to be the perfect opportunity for you to have a deeper look about your own the relationship with yourself, and who you are, and why you feel that maybe you are not worthy of certain relationships, or that you feel that no one will be able to give you what you want in life, I think. I am also picking up pile 4, that you will go through a period of rapid change in terms of certain relationships. I sense that a lot of the relationships that you have in your life maybe are superficial, is the word that I would like to use, or maybe just not. I'm really struggling to vocalize this, actually. They're not for your greater good. I do sense that you will be faced with having to walk away from certain relationships that that just aren't serving you right now. And I do think, though, that it says here with the 11th house card, grants wishes, like friends and social occasions, that you are going to be going through a bit of a detox in terms of relationships and working out what relationships will benefit you and help you move forward in life, and which relationships also probably just aren't within your best interest, basically. And also a deeper sort of cleanse on your own values with yourself and why you feel potentially undervalued, or I really want to say unworthy, but I don't want to make you feel as if that's how you are, if that makes sense. Like, it's not, it's just the word that's coming to mind. But I think it's really because you will be granted or moving towards actually finding that soul tribe, those people that are the people that you're supposed to connect with, and that really will bring in more beautiful relationships and equality, and serve your life in the best possible way, so that you can actually complete this cycle of feeling, moving on from this cycle anyway, of feeling disappointment and as if relationships always let you down. Once you learn to heal that relationship with yourself, I think those people that resonate at your higher frequency will just naturally be drawn to you. On that pile 4, let's get some other messages about what's need healing from the Mystic Healing cards that I've got recently from a friend. So this will give us some other insight as to what sort of deeper messages you need, deeper issues that need to be healed during this Pluto retrograde period. And also it has messages of how to overcome these issues. Yeah, I do see here, pile 4, that there's a real need to sort of walk away from certain relationships or sort of certain habits. Things keep cycling and happening, reoccurring in your life, I should say. I think it's because you haven't sort of dealt with sort of deeper issues. So remember, Pluto retrograde is a period of deep transitions and facing the darker sides of ourselves. And I mean, when I say darker side, I mean our shadow, things that we've just been afraid of facing, basically. But you do have the star shining bright through that window too. So I do sense that there's going to be a real awakening of a real beautiful, more serene, accepting side of yourself once you get through this period. There it is. Ooh. It says here reverse dissociation, number 28. Which I really see as dissociation is when you choose to walk away or not be part of a certain situation, institution. I sense that you do feel like you're constantly being abandoned by people, or people are letting you down all the time. And so you've sort of forced yourself to put up a wall. You're quite guarded, I sense, just because you don't want to be hurt by people anymore, I sense, Paul, for... And I do see here that these two people are not, they're sort of looking in opposite directions. They're almost oppositional. They don't want to sort of connect and communicate with each other. But I think it's about you breaking down that wall and understanding why you've decided to sort of guard yourself from relationships, and that will eventually allow you to really open up to the more beautiful relationships that will serve you better in life. I'm actually just going to read the message associated with this so we can get some better understanding about what's really happening here. Number 28, reverse dissociation. Give yourself permission to feel. It can be easy to dissociate from your feelings when the challenges of life become too overwhelming. Okay, yes. This can occur when we hold on to suppressed, unacknowledged, painful, or traumatic experiences and allow ourselves to be bombarded by the noises of the outside world, from watching too much TV, to listening to loud music, to engaging with social media. When we constantly run from one sensation to another, our nerves become numbed and we begin to feel empty inside. In order to recover your sensitivity and aliveness, you need to slow down, connect to your body, and give yourself permission to feel. You have to realize that as a spiritual being, you need to spend much more time nourishing your soul as you do feeding your physical body. Your spirit is beckoning you to go within. Let go of pain and transform it into enriched wisdom. There you go. Okay, so... Right, so pile 4. Wow, I've got the shivers again. I do sense that you've really been through a lot of heartache and pain in your life, that people have let you down. And I sense that it keeps happening. There's a cycle, a pattern that keeps happening within your life where you really put hope on a certain situation or a certain person, a relationship. And unfortunately, they keep falling apart. You feel abandoned. And so you've turned to distracting yourself by putting up a wall in terms of not letting certain people in, and I guess distracting yourself with, as it said, social media and external sources for, I guess, to seek instantaneous gratification. But it's time for you now to really allow your inner world to shine. You need to really go in, turn in, do a lot of meditation, a lot of self-reflection, and allow these deeper, darker parts of yourself to surface so that you can face them, heal, and transition through this period so that you can actually bring in that soul tribe and these wishes so the universe can actually allow and grant the wishes that you've been hoping for, that you've been asking for, because your inner world needs to match your outer world. Once you're more satisfied with who you are as a person and know who you are and what you want from life, then the universe can allow that to sort of be brought towards you. I see this as a really positive reading in the sense that if you choose to work hard on yourself during this Pluto retrograde period, you're going to see amazing benefits from it when you come out of it at the end of it. Yeah, I see this as kind of like the North Star, or the shining, like your North Star really guiding you on your journey and how to get through this period. Finally, pile 4. I'm just going to get some further messages and insight from the standard Rider-Waite Tarot deck on how you can overcome this heartache and this pain. What specifically you need to do during this period. You've also got the key there too. In the card of reverse dissociation, there is a key and a lock indicating that you can really unlock some amazing... I guess if you delve deep and open that door, you'll be releasing a lot of things that have been getting you down. I think you'll allow yourself to realize who you are and what you've been afraid of facing, and that will come to the surface. Oop. It's too many. I am really struggling to communicate in this pile, actually. I haven't been able to be as fluid as I have with the other groups, which is really indicating to me that there's an issue with dealing with your inner truth in terms of accepting certain, I guess, perceived failings or flaws, but I always see those things as opportunities for growth. So yeah, I sense you need to sort of not be so hard on yourself also. Powerful. Okay, so the two cards that did pop out for you, you've got the King of Cups here, and then you have the Knight of Wands in reverse. And your final card, okay, it's the Five of Wands. Right. So there's a lot of fire here, a lot of fire in this reading, which is an indication that, well, for one, it's going to be quite challenging. I think there's going to be some really darker or deeper emotions that might be very hard to overcome. It's going to be, I sense it'll cause a lot of anxiety. Fire is associated with the spirit, but when I say anxiety, you know, when you start to feel really anxious in life and you get the hot and cold sweats, I do sense that this is not going to be an easy period, or that these things are going to be a little bit challenging to face. But yeah, with the Knight of Wands in reverse, it's about working through this slowly, not sort of rushing ahead, just dealing with these internal battles one by one as they come up. And the King of Wands for me is really indicating that you need to really give yourself some time and be gentle and kind towards yourself. Show yourself self-love during this period, because there's going to be a few different issues, I think, that will come to surface that will be really challenging and tough to overcome. But I think this period goes for like 5 months, so just allow yourself time to really work through them one by one, and just know that you've got some really beautiful and amazing people coming towards you, and some wishes being granted once you actually work on yourself and release this energy that needs to be brought to light. Powerful. Yeah, try to work from the place of being the King of Wands, which is really being emotionally balanced, being kind to yourself, generous, looking out for yourself, and also being mindful of some positive advice that others may give you in this time. But I do think you'll get through it, and you'll be a much happier and brighter person at the end. So that's all I have for you, Powerful. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next reading. Thank you. Bye.